let's start with the darts and the putt. We're heading out there on Wednesday night, and we're broadcasting there on Thursday. Do you still have the darts and the putt? And we're bringing Jenga for our broadcast to loosen up some of our guests. Do you like that call to loosen up our guests?
I do. I think that'll add to a little bit of the stress, but as long as you kind of make it fun, I think that'll help the situation out. Let guys kind of chill out a little bit.
Do you have a new system this year with regard to getting, what you need from these prospective players?
Yeah, in terms of the interviews, that's been going really well so far. We started last night, had a good group. It was D-line and linebackers, mostly D-line for us. And we had some of the best interviews I've had in a very long time with guys just, being themselves and showing their personalities and what their makeup is and, why they play the game the way that they do. So it's been going really well.
So we heard your press conference, and obviously we know you don't have the quarterback situation known as of yet. One thing that caught my ear was that you have communicated to Justin's camp. What has been the main thing that you have told Justin in his camp?
Yeah, just give him a heads up of, this situation is difficult because, I mentioned uncertainty and living in the gray is hard. No one wants to go through that for a long period of time. But I gave my word that we'd be transparent and communicate it along the way. And I've talked to his team about that as well. As things come together and whatever direction that is, we'll let them know. And that's to me, it's a sign of respect for Justin because of how he's always handled his position and what he means to our team. So I want to do right by him and what is a challenging time for him and his family.
Has he been frustrated at all, Ryan?
No, Justin's so poised and takes it one day at a time. Even he's mentioned he understands the business and these difficult calls and situations. And Justin's always been himself, and that's something we all value in the organization as well. So everything has stayed positive to this point.
Ryan, where are you at personally on this in this process with regard to this really big decision? Do you have a specific timeline for this decision, or is the timeline fluid in your opinion?
Yeah, the timeline's fluid. I think it's important to gather as much information as possible. It's almost like a 2-minute drill. You don't want to rush and make mistakes, but you do have to have a sense of urgency to you. Definitely going to lean on my team as well as we gather information, kind of discuss those things. But I also think there's an instinct to it too, where you feel like there's a situation that hits you the right way, if that's for or against the situation. And when you kind of get that internal green light, then you act on it. That's why I've always kind of lived life, but also how I've operated as a general manager as well. So we'll continue to do that, and hopefully, things will continue to be positive.
Obviously, this is a very big decision. Do you look at this impending QB decision as a career-defining decision? And do you feel any pressure? How much pressure do you feel associated with having to make this decision?
No, oddly enough, and I think it's just because of the group of people I have around me and some of the experience that I've gone through in the past. I feel really good about the situation. There's a level of confidence and poise as we go about this. I know, I was at the Blackhawks game the other day, and I heard basically a debate in the middle of the lobby with about 100 people of what we should do, which I find fascinating. And I love the energy that our fans bring. But the one thing is that, I don't move in fear of getting it wrong. I really focus on getting this thing right. So I got a ton of confidence that everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to.
When you hear that, do they see you, or are you just kind of eavesdropping that Bears fans are just talking about this?
Oh, they see me. They see me all right. So yeah, I was getting everyone's opinion on Sunday.
I love that. I love that you're not running from it. And something that you said about your team. And I'm going back to the Kansas City days because this story has always stuck with me that Brett Veach knew that Patrick Mahomes had to pass the Andy Reid test, that he had to go through the hours of sitting with Andy Reid and going through the whiteboard, and then Andy Reid gave the famous thumbs up. So who is important to you to pass the test of whoever it is, whether it's Justin, whether it's Caleb, whether it's Drake May, someone else? Who's the guy that you're leaning on, Ryan, to pass that test?
Yeah, we got a unique group from a leadership standpoint, from a makeup standpoint. Obviously, myself and my team lean on them, but that's where Flus is special. He understands makeup that it takes to be special in this league. From an offensive standpoint, in terms of the base of knowledge, the skill set, the recall, all of that, heavily lean on Shane and Thomas Brown. Those guys are going to be huge for that buy-in too, because I want, as those guys walk into their room, I want them to, be confident in them and have a part of this process too. And we've had the discussion with Justin, and we know his makeup, and Shane and those guys have watched him and know what he's capable of too. So we just got to balance those two things and see what puts us in a situation where we can win championships and sustain success for a long time.
Ryan, you guys obviously got it right out in KC years ago. What did you learn through the process of evaluating Patrick Mahomes, then drafting him, and then, equally important, developing him? When you put it all under the microscope, what did you learn there that maybe you could use going forward here in Chicago?
Yeah, the one thing we talk about a lot, and you hear it in scouting circles sometimes, is, what can he do? What can a player do in terms of their skill? And then where's their struggles at, and can you improve that? In those conversations with our coach, can we improve, these three things? Because if we can do that paired with what his strengths are, you might have something special there. So that's one thing. The other thing is, infrastructure. Infrastructure to support and give a quarterback confidence. That's important as well. I'll go back to just watching Matt Ryan, one of my roommates. I think his first pass against Detroit was like a 75-yard touchdown. His career just took off from there. Pat waited a year, really to the end of that first season against Denver, and had success, and it took off from there. So having infrastructure around them, making sure that they're comfortable in what they're doing, those are all important pieces that you got to have in place to have success and have a guy grow.
You mentioned Shane. How did you come to the conclusion that he was your guy as the offensive coordinator? And then on top of that, what impact or level of input will he have in your decision at the quarterback position?
Yeah, alignment's important for us. So he's going to be a part of the process with Matt and I, as well as the rest of our front office. Because, like I said, I want complete buy-in and alignment so we can develop a guy to the maximum potential. I want everyone to see the ceiling if that's the route that we go. And that's really for anybody. That's for Justin, too. And I think the first question you cut out there a little bit was what about Shane was unique. And I think his ability to tie the run and the pass game together in his presentations and from our background, that's important. It creates really alignment in your play calling. And that's really good. The teaching, he's an unbelievable communicator in how he blocks things together so guys can understand what's going on and they can play fast. So all of those things were really important to us, and he nailed it.
Ryan, after talking to whoever you talk to, and if you love a player at number one, does it matter what an offer would be for number one? Would you stick with that player?
I think if it gets to the point where someone were to check all of those boxes that you believe, put a guy in a situation to be, special, I think you probably shut down the whole thing. There's obviously some strategy in that as well. So we'll kind of see how this thing plays out. But, all of those things are going to affect how we move forward.
Have you had to change rooms this year? Are you getting knocks on your door?
I'm still hiding out. I got a good spot, and I'm excited about that. I haven't told anybody this yet, but I have some free evenings later in the week that I got a golf simulator in my suite this year.
Oh, living large.
Full golf simulator.
Yeah, is it a good thing or a bad thing to be the most popular guy in Indy for the second consecutive year?
Nah, it's opportunity, right? With opportunity comes some of these stresses, if you want to call it that. You're in high demand. People, want to know what you're thinking. They want to meet with you. They want to see where you stand in terms of are you staying still, are you moving, who you're trading, who you're not trading. It's just part of the deal. It comes with the territory. And because of the opportunity that it does bring, it's something that we'll, take advantage of and enjoy while we're in this situation. And hopefully this presents us with talent that's going to change this organization and allow us to reach that last game of the year and bring home a trophy.
Will your performance with the golf simulator in any way, shape, or form affect your decision-making the following day?
I missed you there. What'd you say?
I said, will your performance with the golf simulator affect your decision-making in any way, shape, or form the following day?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
I'm asking you a question about the golf simulator and whether or not your performance with the golf simulator will affect your decision-making.
No, not at all. It's just a stress reliever to let me relax my mind for a little bit.
Gotcha.
Ryan, we really appreciate the time. Good luck, and hopefully we'll run into you in Indy and we'll play around a Jenga, okay?
Sounds good. I'll be ready.